Well, everybody, today's video is going to probably strike some people in their feelings because if you care, today's subject is about Bungie, Destiny 2, and the uncertain future that Destiny has created for not only Bungie, but also possibly Bungie's new owners, PlayStation. We're going to dive into it right now, so grab your salty snacks and your blankies for your emotions, and we are going to blow some smoke. Before we get started, I want to do something you don't see too often here on YouTube, and that is congratulate somebody. I am talking about Mr. Crusader3456, someone I've had the distinct honor of conversating with for a while now, and also I get to call him friend here in the gaming community. And he is a very informative individual over on Reddit. He keeps track of gaming, leaks, rumors, and he is also an avid Destiny fan. And he came out and put an article on Reddit outlining a lot of problems with Destiny 2 currently. And he was actually featured on Forbes by Mr. Paul Tassi over this article. So his whole comments and article about Destiny 2 is kind of what was impromptu created this video. And also me and him kind of conversated a little bit about my concerns about what this could spell for the future of not only Bungie, but also their new acquirers, PlayStation. But let's first start with Bungie and their creation, Destiny 2. Let's address a matter of great concern in the gaming community, a topic that has stirred both passion and disappointment among players worldwide. Let's discuss the fate of a once beloved title, Destiny 2, and the series of decisions that have led to a significant decline in its gameplay experience. It's time to shed light on the situation, voice the collective sentiments of the dedicated fan base, and bring into the conversation just how the missteps of Destiny's developer could be a precursor for a much bigger concerning future outside of Destiny. The developer behind this iconic game, Bungie, has undeniably left a profound impact on the gaming industry, crafting memorable experiences that have resonated with players for years. Yet recent times have cast a shadow over the legacy they have built. As we delve into the details, it becomes evident that poor decisions have cast a dark shadow over once was a shining star in the gaming universe. Let's address the elephant in the room, the removal of content, or what they like to call sunsetting. Destiny 2's world was vast and immersive with campaigns, strikes, raids, crucible maps, and so much more to explore. However, over time, these experiences have vanished, creating a void that leaves many feeling disheartened. The loss of these cherished elements has led to a sense of diminished gameplay variety, leaving players longing for the richness that once defined the Destiny experience. Furthermore, the transition to a free-to-play model brought with it its own set of challenges. Campaigns that once freely accessible have been locked behind paywalls, seasons have disappeared, and raids have faded into obscurity. A growing concern among players revolves around the balance between paid and free content, as well as the pervasive presence of microtransactions. The Destiny 2 community stands divided, torn between those who acknowledge the necessity of financial support and those who fear the erosion of the core gameplay experience. When you examine the impact on player experience, a troubling narrative emerges. The game's focus has shifted towards perishable and monetized content, resulting in a fractured and disjointed storyline. New and returning players are left grappling with confusion as the once accessible Red War campaign and its narrative have been banished into the shadows of the Destiny content vault. It's disheartening to witness the struggles of new players as they navigate a landscape stripped of the very elements that could have made their journey enjoyable and meaningful. Big example is Cade 6, a character that really helped build the game into a blockbuster title with great characters, and his character is complete canon and does not exist in the game at all anymore, other than a statue. Equally concerning is the state of Destiny 2's expansion model. As new content is introduced, the old is often discarded, sunsetted, or put into the vault, creating barriers for players to fully engage with the evolving universe. This fractured approach not only isolates the community, but also fosters a sense of detachment from the game's overarching story. Highlighted by multiple fans on social media, the Destiny 2 experience should not be marred by exclusionary practices that hinder the collective enjoyment of its world. Heavy use of microtransactions have also taken center stage in this unfolding drama. The Eververse store, once a source of cosmetic enjoyment, has evolved into a hub for monetized content. While the need for financial support is acknowledged, the influx of microtransactions threatens to overshadow the sense of achievement derived from in-game rewards and progression. The community is constantly voicing its concerns over the heavy focus of microtransactions and saying they deserve a fair and transparent approach that respects both the player's investment and the developer's need for revenue. The PvP enthusiasts that enjoy spending their time in the Crucible and in Gambit have not been immune to the chaos either. A lopsided allocation of resources have led to an underwhelming PvP experience, while the unique Gambit game mode teeters on the edge of oblivion. Bungie continues to ignore fan requests for added maps and also bringing back content to the Gambit mode, and just not wanting to give fans what they are asking for a much broader PvP experience that is new and refreshing instead of the same old thing day after day. It's essential for Bungie to create a balanced approach, for one that caters to the diverse interests of the player base and ensures that all aspects of Destiny 2 receive the same attention they deserve. Bungie would rather create an experience that is extremely grindy and only focuses on the aspects of the game that create the grind, which actually brings us to the topic of loot and rewards that cannot be overlooked as well. A sense of excitement and satisfaction should accompany the pursuit of powerful weapons, yet the current state of Destiny 2's loot system leaves much to be desired. Players deserve meaningful rewards that celebrate their dedication and mastery, not a collection of unremarkable tools that fail to inspire. Ironically, with no pun intended, the destiny of Destiny 2 hangs in the balance. Bungie's decisions have created a rift within the community, a divide between the passion and the dedication of players and the path the game's development has taken. The content losses, the free-to-play struggles, the relentless focus on microtransactions, these are all elements that have contributed to a sense of disillusionment among Destiny fans. Moving forward, it is imperative that Bungie takes a moment to reflect on the state of their beloved creation. The Destiny 2 community stands united, yearning for a return to the glory days, a resurgence of the magic that once captivated their hearts. Together, fans hope to forge a brighter path, one that rekindles the spirit of Destiny and ensures the legacy of this franchise continues to shine in the annals of gaming history. Now, once you take into consideration all the issues that Bungie has created for themselves with the development of Destiny 2, we also talk a much bigger, broader problem, and that is now the fact that they are consultants for PlayStation in creating games as a service for PlayStation's lacking multiplayer ecosystem. And what's really kind of very disturbing is, let's just first start with Mr. Paul Tassi. In an article that he put out on Forbes, he put up an image of all the content that was originally released when Destiny 2 went to free to play, and now pretty much all of that content is either non-existent, vaulted, or behind a paywall. And therefore, the game itself is technically a far cry from what it was supposed to be when the whole free-to-play business came to be. And what is that going to spell for PlayStation with their multiplayer, free-to-play, whatever their ambitions are for games as a service? If Bungie has any real input on these games, it's going to be really concerning. For starters, I have always been against the idea of removing content in the name of vaulting it. I believe that's absolute horse shit in my opinion. And the reason why I feel this way, well, is because I play Elder Scrolls Online. I've been playing the game for multiple years now, sunk hundreds of dollars into its ecosystem, and not one shred of content has been vaulted. Not one DLC has been sunsetted. Not one expansion has been written into non-existence. I am able to go in right now, start a fresh character, and play the new player onboarding system that they have, that's been there since day one. Play that whole experience and experience every other story and DLC that they have released thus far, because it's all there. Wonder why Bungie cannot achieve that. One of the main reasons why I want to say that Bungie can't achieve what ZeniMax has with ESO is because Bungie is too busy abandoning things. Let's first start with Halo, a great franchise that was beloved by fans that they decided to completely abandon in the name of Destiny. Everybody always wants 343 to stop developing Halo and for Bungie to come back. But why would you want the developer that literally threw that franchise in the trash to come back? Look at what they have created with Destiny. I'm pretty sure in the original ambitions of Destiny, when it was nothing more than concept art on a wall, they knew there was going to be microtransactions. I'm sure that Activision themselves did not come out with all these microtransactions ideas on their own. I'm pretty sure at this point that Bungie gave rise to some of the concepts of the microtransactions that are in the game, to the idea of like, hey, Activision, we can make you guys a lot of money if you just kind of do this, that, and the other and let us have control, and we'll make all these great things in the game that you guys can monetize. And literally, I mean, you could see that the microtransactions to this day are just getting worse and worse as the game progresses, which means that Bungie themselves are the predatory microtransaction creators that are plaguing Destiny. It is not Activision themselves. To make it even funner, like we're talking about Activision, let's look at Bungie. They have literally come and gone from 3 publishers now. First started with Microsoft, and they moved on to Activision, and now the flavor of the month is PlayStation, who has forked out an awful lot of money for Bungie to basically to retain creative freedom and do whatever they want with Destiny and whatever titles that they create, but to also be used as consultants to have their hands in the future ambitions of PlayStation's multiplayer ecosystem that they are so desperately trying to create. But it's actually really scary because, in my opinion, Bungie is not this great, glorious company that everybody wants to make them out to be. The days of the original Halo Combat Evolved are gone. There is nothing more than a shell of a company left that literally has ambitions of absolute greed and microtransaction. I don't even want to say that it's corporate greed, because literally Bungie is not this huge corporate entity, but there is greed behind every move they have made now at this point with Destiny 2. Because of the issues of Destiny 2 and just how much of a fair weather developer Bungie really is and how many publishers they have come and gone from, Microsoft did pass on wanting to just toy with the idea of acquiring Bungie, just because of not only how unstable the company is, but also how unstable Destiny 2 is, which is where it's kind of funny and ironic, because everybody always wants to say that Microsoft mismanages their developers and that they are the kiss of death to success in the gaming industry, when it really is starting to look like Microsoft got out of a bad relationship with Bungie and they have no intent to go back to that circus. And at this point, it's looking like Bungie is actually the own perpetrators of their own demised success. I don't want Bungie to basically become the kiss of death for PlayStation's multiplayer ambitions for its ecosystem. Bungie already came out and said that the factions game for Last of Us 2 was not going to be able to create player retention and didn't have the right mechanics to create a great experience, when honestly Bungie themselves have no idea how to actually create a cohesive experience, whether it's through gameplay or story in Destiny. It's always been a fractured game. Even on Destiny 1, it's had its ups and downs. Now with Destiny 2, it's having its ups and downs. It's really concerning to see that PlayStation has allowed so much development control with Bungie over PlayStation's multiplayer ambitions. This could absolutely spell disaster for what PlayStation is trying to create for its fans. So time will only tell, and we will just have to sit back, watch, and see on exactly how much involvement Bungie is going to have on all of PlayStation's games as a service, multiplayer, free-to-play, what have you. And only time will tell on whether it's going to be good or bad for PlayStation's ambitions. If you enjoyed today's content, please like, subscribe, comment down below, all that fun stuff that YouTube likes to see. It really does help my channel grow. Also, check out the end card on this video, explore my channel, watch my latest video. And as always, I always have to remind everybody that the console wars are absolute dogma. Just be sure to play the games you love on the platform you prefer, no matter what anybody says. I am Centurion1307, and thank you for watching.